Let's go. Welcome to the show. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause it's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Let's get a topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's Project Open Mic. Let's get the show off right. It's Project Open Mic. Let's have a good show tonight. Alrighty then, what's going on everybody? It's your boy Tig once again. This Thursday night, you know what it's all about. It's Project Open Mic. Glad to have you here, of course. Let me put my beautiful mug on the screen. How you doing? Hope everybody's doing well. Hope you're doing good. Another week has passed and we're back here again with Project Open Mic. Tonight's show is basically about a boogeyman. It's an old fair people used to have. The reason in the old story is basically the only way the boogeyman has power and could cause you great harm is because he has a grip of fear onto you. And if you buy into the fear, you can be controlled. So sometimes you know that you understand that's how his power works, but a lot of people still succumb to that fear. So tonight we're gonna talk about that. Yes, we're gonna talk about a little bit about COVID and everything else, and we'll see where we end up tonight. So again, I want to thank you guys for joining me for another ride again. Yes, last week was a little heavy, so I'm not gonna go that heavy this time, but let's see what goes on with a little fun. All right. So I want to give a shout out to everybody out there who joined last week. And I want to thank y'all for helping out. Now, of course, we have a lot more stuff to talk about. I want to make sure everything is good because we're going to listen to some nonsense. Oh, we're going to listen to some nonsense. I just want to make sure of one more thing before I get into, so I can talk about it. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't mean to hold you up. Just want to write down something right now. Because again, depending on how much it is. And maybe next week we'll talk about it. Also, I already don't see some people, many people in the chats already and talk about stuff. We already got 6,253 people in the building. That's good. I hope you guys keep going up. So let's see here. Okay. All right. We're good to go. We are good to go. So thank you guys for giving me your time, your ears, or your eyes, your ears, your mind, and spending time with me tonight. Hope I can open up your eyes to a lot of stuff out there. So let's get down to some of the nitty-gritty of certain things. All right. So again, I'll start off by saying this because I believe in this. Okay. Excuse me. I will have a video talking about this in a bigger setup, but just letting you know. But I believe in this. So first of all, I'll say this. Look, when it comes to medical advice, go to your doctor, have a conversation, find out what you need to do. Your doctor knows more about this. I am not a doctor. I'm a musician / CEO / architect / CAD operator. But I'm not an architect. I'm not a sorry. I'm not a medical doctor, okay? Go to your doctor, find out what's the best choice to you to handle any sickness, including what we're talking about, which is the COVID. I want to talk about certain things today. All right. So Facebook and YouTube. Again, I believe that I believe in freedom that you have the choice. Some people want to do it, let it do it. But again, I abide by the CDC and by the World Health Organization, the WHO, about what's going on. But I am going to talk about some truths, though. Listen, and so you guys can hear literally and figuratively and clearly in tonight's show. Okay? Okay. All right, kids. Are you ready for tonight's show, kids? All right, because I'm gonna teach you some stuff. Okay. So, like I stated before, all that stuff, what it is. I watch YouTube and I get, just like anybody else, we get ads for certain things. Okay? We get ads for certain things. And hopefully I can talk about this. Let's see where it goes. I'm basically, I am a streamer conscious kind of person when I talk about some of this stuff. I have a lot of stuff I can talk about on my screen that you guys can't see that are clipped. But it depends on how I feel like tonight. Because again, this was more random, want to put together stuff than last week because I had a focus to do it. And because again, it was so, and again, shout outs to a couple of the people who commented in this. If you go to the Friday chat, the side chat on YouTube, and you'll see that some people was like, hey, concerned that you watch these things and it might affect you and all things like that. It doesn't to a degree. I explained it in that show, but thank you for your heart, your heart warm wishes towards me, and I thank you for that. I'm not a negative person. I am a human being. Things affect everybody differently, so I get that. So we're gonna be talking about, like I said, a little bit about COVID. And like I said, I see the commercials, and the commercials are always saying, like I just watched one, least recently, just in the past hour, because I was on YouTube looking for stuff. And the last hour, all right. Help us fight and crush COVID. We could destroy the disease. We could again, and you've heard me say this on past shows before. No, you ain't. The Bubonic plague is still around. The Black Plague is still around. Right now, the deaths, according to the CDC, we average about 1,200 deaths a day. I feel bad for the families who have lost their lives. I feel bad for the people who have died, and also the stress that it comes on that you lost a loved one. But the thing about it is, I've said it once, and I've said it a million times. From day one, we have not gotten true numbers. Have we got numbers? Yes. Can numbers lie? Not really, but the way you position the numbers can show you a lie. That's the point. And I've said that we're gonna just have to live with it. It sucks, but we're gonna have to live with it. And I always tell people, wear your mask, wear your gloves. I'm not against that. I'm not against vaccine. Go get your vaccine. Talk to your doctor. That's why I say all this stuff up front. I'm gonna show you my point, what I'm saying. I'm not against it. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anti-immunization person. I don't like to use the word vax because of the word, whatever, but I'm not against none of that stuff. Again, not my thing. But I'm just giving you the opposition to learn about certain things. Remember, I always say, people are stupid, individuals smart, be that smart individual. So let me hit you with some stuff. Take it as is. You can go and look at these numbers any way you can. You can search for these numbers, just like I just searched for these numbers and search for these things and hear about this. But my thing is, take care of yourself. Be careful. I've had people. I know a person who there's some people. I know people who have died for COVID. I know people who died for COVID. I know people who were seriously sick and died from COVID. I know people who were seriously sick and had some major comorbidities and have not died from COVID. And now they got the antibodies and everything. Okay, so that's my preamble. Okay, that's my preamble to y'all. But let me prove you to something. Like I said, the fear is what keeps people in control. All right? In control. I want to play you a little clip of people. Remember, these people. These are the same people. Listen to what they said. All right? These are the same people who say, "Oh, that wants the mandate and all that stuff." And the Supreme Court, one of the courts have just knocked down President Joe Biden mandate to get the vaccine because it's way past unconstitutional to do that. But we'll see what happened. They'll fight it still. But remember, he said that. But let's go back to the past and hear all the people what they said before.
On Michael, we cannot require someone to be vaccinated. That's just not what we can do.
Nancy Pelosi.
Needless to say, the right of women to make decisions about
Kamala Harris.
their own bodies is not negotiable.
No, definitely not. You don't want to mandate
Fauci.
and try and force anyone to take a vaccine. We've never done that.
Our interest is very simple from the federal government,
Jen Psaki.
which is Americans' privacy and rights should be protected.
It is a matter of privacy to know who is or who isn't.
We don't want to be mandating from the federal government to the general population. It would be unenforceable and not appropriate.
Perhaps the federal government should step in and issue mandates, and if not, are you putting the needs of unvaccinated people ahead of the needs of vaccinated people?
Well, I think the question here, one, that's not the role of the federal government.
I agree.
I don't think it should be mandatory. I wouldn't demand to be mandatory. First, we must increase vaccinations among the
You heard that. That's President Joe Biden, everybody. I agree with all that stuff. But for some reason, it got changed. Wonder why? Because, again, I follow... there's an old saying, follow the money, follow how things go. And I go with that point. Because where did we went from? 2 shots, Delta mutate. Remember, the virus always mutates. Why? Because that's what viruses do. They always do. I've said that a long time ago on this podcast. They always do. So there's nothing really negative about that. Huh. But that's what you heard him say. Now, we got to get these shots and get all this stuff. And I want to get this job and get this stuff. And I just want to play a little thing from CNN. This is the COVID. This is the CDC director, Dr. Rachel Walensky. If I pronounce it wrong, I'm sorry, but listen, because 73% of Americans have been vaccinated by the CDC's numbers. Dr. Fauci said it many times. Joe Biden wants to be 98%. Again, it's a statistical impossibility. That's not going to happen. Now, there's also a lot of people that's crazy. Remember, I played the clip about years ago, couple weeks ago, where who are in the mandate that Joe Biden's trying to pass, President Joe Biden's trying to pass, who have the exemption from it? Illegal immigrants, which is, I don't know why they get exemption. And of course, the Senate and Congress and their workers. Again, why? How they get out of it, but everybody else should do it? I don't get it. But again, let's play the CDC thing. Remember, if you get the vaccine, it lowers the cause of basically the chances of death and make sure the sickness is not as long as it needs to be. I got nothing against that. But here's the thing. Oops.
Things are working exceptionally well. They continue to work well for Delta with regard to severe illness and death. They prevent it. But what they can't do anymore is prevent transmission. So if you're going home to somebody who has not been vaccinated, to somebody who can't get vaccinated, somebody who might be immunosuppressed or a little bit frail, somebody who has comorbidities that put them at high risk, I would suggest you wear a mask in public indoor settings.
Especially if there is a breakthrough case, you get COVID, you're fully vaccinated, but you are totally asymptomatic, you could still pass on the virus to someone else. Is that right?
That's exactly right. And that's where our masking recommendation came from.
It's so important, these masks. We're learning the FDA could lay out a national
Oh, I have my thing to say, but I let it go.
strategy, Dr. Walensky, for COVID-19 booster shots in early September, just in a few weeks. What will this strategy look like? Who will be eligible for these boosters first? All of us who got 2 shots, we might need, after 5 or 6 months, a 3rd shot.
We're looking at those data carefully. Those data include looking at clinical cohorts, our clinical trials, cohorts from across the country, our essential workers, long-term care facilities, healthcare workers who are vaccinated early. And we're working closely with the FDA following those data, and we'll come up with a plan soon in September.
And do you think that before that will happen, the emergency use authorization for these vaccines will be changed to complete and full authorization?
That lies squarely with the FDA, but I know that they're working very hard in order to get that full approval, because I recognize that we all recognize that some people are waiting for that approval to get vaccinated.
So what for these boosters first?
I want to play this again. I want to play something again.
Asymptomatic, you could still
frail, somebody who has comorbid vaccinated, to somebody who can't get vaccinated, somebody who might be immunosuppressed or a little bit frail, somebody who has comorbidities that.
Which I've been saying all of my show all the time. I always say that. I'm not against that. I'm 100% behind that. But again,
I would suggest you wear a mask in public indoor settings.
Especially if there is a breakthrough case, you get COVID, you're fully vaccinated, but you are totally asymptomatic, you could still pass on the virus to someone else. Is that right?
That's exactly right. And that's where our masking recommendation came from.
It's so important, these masks.
okay. Now I'll say that. So here's what it just stated. Okay. Here's what it just stated. And I'm just stating it for a point. Okay. You could get the vaccine. You can still transfer. You could still get that. You could, and you would get COVID. I know a person, one of my close person I know, who went through chemo, went through all kind of stuff because he had a cancer, went through chemo, got vaccinated, fully vaccinated, 2 shots, everything, still got COVID. So bringing down the severity of it, okay, that's cool. I get it. That's why flu shots and stuff be like that. Not comparing them on YouTube or Facebook. I'm not saying that. I'm just giving an example. But still, he still got COVID. All right. But then you could still transmit it to somebody else. We're about 73. The video I played, what I said, we have 73 to 77% of people being vaccinated in America. You still can pass it on. You still could do stuff. And if people who are unvaccinated gets COVID and asymptomatic and still pass it to somebody, then why would it hurt somebody who is vaccinated? Like, the mental gymnastics right there is what puzzles me, and that's why I've said that. That's why I said we just got to live with it. It's not going nowhere. We're not killing it off. We're not stopping it. It's too widespread. It's too airborne. It's going to be what it is. Like the lady said, wear your mask, even though the efficacy of the mask that even they themselves have shown doesn't prevent it. Unless you got like a N95 mask, which we know how that is. And if you do that, go right ahead. I'm not against it, but them little paper masks that I wear, that you wear, that we all wear, that ain't preventing jack squat. Just be honest. And then the CDC themselves said it. So I'm not even making that up. All right. So we have that. Okay. But the only reason I'm saying this stuff because the numbers does from day one. Go back. You see that little link down there, Project Open Mic on YouTube. Go back to my videos from last year, May, and March, May. You see what I was talking about, and I was talking about it back then. So it wasn't like this just came to me in an epiphany. I said back then, this thing is going to mutate. It's going to be worse around winter time because that's just how virus is done. You get less sunlight, all that stuff. It's going to be that. I also said that this thing is up in the air so much that it's not gonna go away. So we're gonna just have to live with it. I'm improving correct on all 3 fronts so far. Another thing I said back then also was don't watch out for people who have comorbidities and all that stuff. Again, I'm not a doctor. I'm just using logical sense and thinking, simple sense, and I figured out something ain't right here and how this is set up to be boom, 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 boom. That's how it goes. Okay. And then also, I was like, why don't we get these numbers? Everybody's talking about the cases. The cases are up 30%. Okay. That's something. But if you, again, the opportunity of death is there, but it didn't happen. So I was not too concerned about the cases so much because not many people, there's a lot of people who got it, never died from it. The hospitalization didn't happen that much. Then we got into the death numbers. And it's ridiculous how certain things are. That's why I said we never got the true numbers to make a true rational decision. And the reason I say that because I'll play you another clip right here. This is what happened. How can we get true death numbers, right? When, well, let's just play it.
Understands that this is in relation to Operation Metals, a homicide investigation launched after a man named Robert Hart sustained serious gunshot injuries outside a Newland motel. Since his death, health authorities say he tested positive for COVID-19, and One News understands that several people are also isolating. So then you have to ask how someone who sustained these types of injuries and then died ends up as part of our COVID-19 death tally. Now, the Ministry of Health says that's because under the World Health Organization guidelines, anyone who dies while also having an acute COVID-19 infection is recorded as part of a nation's death tally, whatever the cause of death might be. So this guy...
NANI? So this man got shot 4 times. Cause of death, he got shot 4 times. But no, we're going to say cause of death is COVID. Underneath the WHO organization, which is bought off by a certain country, which I'll point out in a second. Don't you think that is weird? You die from gunshots, but you're counted as a COVID death. How? What? I've played a clip where a person got hit by a bus, COVID death. Motorcycle accident, COVID death. So we're not getting the true numbers either in that regard. Okay, and this is not off like 10%. You can say okay, we could say a 10% error of correction. This is off by a lot of numbers. We don't even know what the error correction is, and that's something bad. You should take it very seriously, like I've stated, but that's something that's kind of weird to be there. Don't you think a death like that, and that should be how you, what now? Too weird. So, I've always told you to be careful with COVID. Comorbidities, people, and I'm going to let somebody explain it again to you, but I've said this too. If the number one killer of people of COVID is people have comorbidities, diabetes, basically obesity, literally is obesity number 1. Then if you're over 65, all right, after that it drops specifically down to almost nothing. And you want to know why I say that? Because I want to play another clip for you. And of course, it turned into something which I was like, really? Can we not just take the thing seriously? No, we cannot. No, we cannot. Here's a person who got COVID, but went in to see what's going on and asked to get health treatment and everything. Now, the thing about this is a person who tested positive for COVID and went for treatment. The only thing is, we had to bring the other boogeyman in now, the one that's about race. And I hate that boogeyman. I don't give that boogeyman barely any energy, but a lot of people do. A lot of people do. So with that, let's talk about this. So when the person went in and heard this thing, he had to record on his camera because he was like, "What the hell?" So let's roll that beautiful beam footage.
So I'm not gonna be able to get it today because I don't qualify. Yep. What if I like smoke and vape? I heard that was no. Okay. But if I were black and Hispanic, then I'd be able to qualify. Okay. I'm being denied medical service because of my race. Is that?
It's the criteria.
Yeah.
So what I do, I go around and make sure everyone meets the criteria.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the criteria that was set forth. If you're 65, you'll be good. But nope, you're healthy. And you're healthy and no medical conditions. So research showed that you should be able to fight off COVID. Maybe it's for someone else, may preclude them a little more, make them a little more susceptible to being worse with COVID. Any questions?
No, I guess not.
That video on Twitter.
No, I guess not.
So there you go. So if you were 65 years older and you don't have no comorbidities, statistically show you should be all right to fight off COVID. I get that. So why don't you let herd immunity take care of everything? Let us get the natural antibodies to fight something, because the best potion against that is that right now for those who could do that. No. And to follow up on that situation, because the person who wanted to follow up on that, which I have respect that they did. So let's listen into that conversation. As they asked the director about that situation, because it's kind of weird. You don't get it because you're white. That's kind of, it goes against the if there's more white people in the country, don't you think you don't want them to spread it so you could not hurt the other people? It's nonsense. But again, another person wanted to make sure.
Hi, Dominique. I'm just calling. Is it true that you're not giving monoclonal antibody infusions to white people?
No, that's not true at all.
Right. So a friend of mine was down there trying to get a monoclonal antibody infusion, and he was refused because he was not Hispanic or African American. They told him that they were only serving.
Okay, so there's eligibility criterias that we go by, and African American and Hispanic are high-risk ethnicity groups, so that would be a qualifier. But that doesn't mean that we don't give it to white people. So it's for, we're prioritizing more vulnerable populations. So people who have an underlying medical condition, anyone who has an underlying medical condition can get it. But along with that, people with a BMI of 25 or higher, people who are 65 years of age or up, or high-risk ethnicity groups can get it.
So if you are a healthy, in shape Caucasian and you show up, you are not going to get an infusion?
Based on the criteria that we go by right now, that is correct.
That's it. Thank you.
What the fuck?
Okay. So you heard that. All right? You heard that. So I got a question here. Again, like I stated just a couple seconds ago. Would it not be easy to just, I don't know, help the white person so you don't spread it to maybe unfortunate black or Hispanic people that he comes up against that has the COVID, so you don't spread it? as well too. Yes, I understand he helped underlining people. That's understandable. I'm not against that. But how about we found out that he has it. Let's fix it so he don't spread it to people. That's just a wild dream by me. I'm just saying for a friend. Holy smokes, you people. You overthink things. Really, y'all do. And it's crazy. It's literally crazy. But remember I talked about the death thing. And let's go into the number one thing out here, okay? So I want you guys, come on, again. Come on, kids. Go along with me, all right? Go along with me. Let's go to good old friend Google and just Google something simple and let's try to make sense out of nonsense. Shall we? Alrighty, kids, let's look at this right here that I'm going to put on the screen. Take a good look at this right here on the screen, okay? I want to even make it even bigger so you can see it. See all that? See that? You see those little pockets of blues? That's where it exploded a lot. You notice something? You notice something. Let me help you there. Because I'm going to back it up just for a second. Notice the pocket of blues. This is crazy. Big numbers. But something's missing. So then, let's go back to the list of debts by country. All right? Debts. I pray and I'm sad for the deaths of people. Debt 5.12 million people died. God's grace be with you and everything. Now again, remember most of these deaths also is ridiculous because like the clip I played before, you got gunshots, COVID death. You got run over by a bus, a COVID death, even though we know the bus is what kill you. You get hit by the motorcycle get hit, had an accident, that's the death. Those are true stories. I'm not making none of this stuff up. All right, and I just played a clip of one where the guy got shot 4 times. So there you go. No lie, that's what the health people doing because by the organization of WHO. Now the WHO gets paid under the table by some people, by a country, which we're going to be talking about because here's the truth right here. Look at this. Again, I pray for the people back. So when it comes to debts, and again, they just look at this, the debts that happened today. 625,000 cases added today. Okay. 9,121 deaths today. Do we know really whatever? I'm not going to go through it, but I'm just saying, we know, I already don't explain my little caveat there. There's over 7 billion people on the planet. These are like infinitesimal numbers. Seriously, it is. More people die from heart attack or from a daggone lightning strike than this, but we won't go through again. The fair, they try to make the fair. All right? So let's look. I want to look for a certain country. And let's look at this. Number one, the debts. America, USA. Number one in debts is US today. 340 million people is in US. 1,606 people died today. Again, not against the people who have the debts. That's not my thing. My heart goes out to the family and all the people out there. But before we go into that, let's do a math thing. I want to just let me just put it on the screen and just. I don't know if it's on the screen. I doubt it's on the screen. Let me just check because I'm looking at it. No, it's not on the screen. So let's use it in in Google for a second. I just want to use it for a second. Let me see here. So what was the numbers again? Okay. So 1,600 and 603. Oops. Oh, right here. 1603. Make sure. Yep. 1603. 767. That. And we divide that by all right. Give me 1 second here. I apologize just because of my phone. I have a family member that is going through also going through cancer treatment and everything. So, just give me I'm just trying to be a nice person to them. Okay. I apologize. I apologize for that, of course. All right. Just saying that. All right. So we're doing that, and then we do that. Okay. Let's see that. 0.0021% of people died. That means, right? 99.998% of people survive out of the cases. Out of the cases. Just again, you've seen it on your screen. We did it live, so you could see the numbers. All right, that's the death toll. That's the percentage rate. Now, if this was, I would think not even 1% would scare me. Really, for me, it wouldn't scare me. But I'm just saying. But let's go back to that thing now. Now, America is that. That's the number. All right. United States. India. Surprising enough, India is up to number 2. There's another country. They're the second most populous country in the world. But we're missing the most populous country in the world. Huh. Number 2 is India. Okay. Brazil. United Kingdom, Russia, Turkey. Russia's another one. That's up there. Turkey, France, Argentina, Germany, Spain. Let's just go. Let's do an analysis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21. The country I'm looking for is not in the first 21. Well, let's see how far the rabbit hole goes, shall we? Go down. Peru, Thailand, Romania, Belgium, Vietnam, Pakistan, Cuba. Not in the top 40. Okay, United Emirates. Okay. Going again. Libya, Mongolia, Oman, Bahrain, Kenya, Nigeria, Botswana, Ghana. Not in the top 60. Cameroon, Rwanda. Huh. Here, let me see. I hope you guys see what my finger is on. Let me just double check. So basically that is top 60. There are 130 something, 147 countries. So basically, like in the 70th, in 70th, top 70th, seventh, China. China has, but again, let's Google this, shall we? Population of China. 1.4 billion people. Imagine that. But out of all of 1.4 billion people, like I said, India is the second, then United States. So you're telling me this country where we know where the COVID came from, they only have what now? Says the WHO? 4,636 deaths.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
You gots to be kidding me. Sorry, I wasn't born yesterday or last night. And my point has stand from since day one. Just give us the true numbers and let us make our points, okay? The India thing makes sense to me. The Russia thing makes sense to me. America, okay, but China only has 4,636 deaths. Really? That. Mm-mm. No way. Again, all I'm asking is just give me the true numbers. That's all it is. So when I see stuff like that, yes, I am cautious. I'm that, but I gotta call out the nonsense. Okay, I want the true numbers, and I giving you more the truth than most people. Like I said, I'm not a doctor, but I could tell you, I could put logic together and say that's why I said we're not gonna get rid of this disease. The Black Plague is still around. Go to San Francisco. The bubonic plague is still around. All right, scurvy is still around, and all you need is in most cases you just need vitamin C. So you catch what I'm saying? Catch what I'm saying, all right? I just wanted to play that for you. I wanted to show that to you so you could see what's going on. Let me see, where should I go from now? Because yeah, I should go to just people saying stupid things. That's where I should go to. And that is what I'm gonna go to. All right. So again, you heard my stance, you heard my thing. Again, go to your doctor to get the best information you can for you. Okay. All right. Get the vaccine. I'm not an anti-vaccine. Get the vaccine if you think the vaccine is what it is. Talk to your doctor. Talk to your physician if it's worth it for you, whatever. Because everybody's different and their body work different. If you, as the video is so multiple times, and I've said this multiple times, if you are over 65, yes. If you have comorbidities, yes. If you have obesity, if you're overweight, they literally said in the clips, multiple times in the clip, from the CDC director to the Health Institute and everything, lose the weight, people. I've literally, when COVID happened in 2020, I lost 45 pounds. I just wanted to be healthy, so I lost 45 pounds. Most black people in America are not healthy. 80% of black women are obese. That's not good. That is not good. The number one killer is basically heart failure and then diabetes for black women. High blood pressure and hypertension for black men. Just saying that. Try your best to take care of yourself. Go out there, do your exercise, go out there and work. Do preventative health before you get into that situation. That's what I did. That's why I changed my diet. I try my best. There's a lot of sugars hidden in things. There's a lot of hidden sugars in things. That's why I take away a lot of sugars. I drink a lot of water. Like I said, the one reason I drink the water you see I drink here, I'm not promoting or nothing, is because I just needed to keep my voice. Like when I did that show, the heavy show last week, I did a almost 2.5 hour show. My throat was very, very bad. Or like, not bad, but very hoarse and itchy. So I drink water to that. But I drink bottles of water. I don't drink sodas. I didn't drink a soda this week. I wouldn't say maybe in a couple weeks. I have not drank. No, Saturday I went on a date and I had with my girlfriend and we drank something. Yes, and I had some wine. Yeah, but I mostly drink. 90% of the time I'm drinking something is either water or sparkling water. I eat a lot more fruits and vegetables and stuff more than I did in the last, and fish. Like my mom is happy about it. I've eaten more fish in the last 2-3 years than I've eaten in my whole lifetime. Why? Because I've changed my recipes. I changed my recipes. One, I like, my girlfriend loves my pancakes because I make sure with the sugar content and everything, and it comes out fluffy and tasting good. I've cooked basically I cook food home. I don't go out. I go out once in a while, but I don't go out. There's a lot of hidden sugars and salt in foods. Then it's funny that the people, I'm not gonna say that, I'm just gonna keep it without putting that around, even though we're going into politics. It's funny how people fought tooth and nail to get the nutritional facts on top of labels. All right. I am happy that they don't have none of the crazy crap on these on water. Okay, it's water. They don't have, calories are 0. All right, sugar 0. Okay, I'm happy that they have that. Okay, but they fight hard to give you labels and show you stuff, and they give you information. Which again, knowledge is power. Wisdom is empowerment, and that's what a lot of people need to understand. That yes, you could do stuff, but if you understand this, whatever, you could do way better. That's what I would tell people to do. Do that so you take your chances to a higher level of not gain your chance of death, which you saw the percentage is very, very low unless you're in those 2 big categories of being obese and 65. If you're outside of that, you're no problem. Because the media, I want to do a video about it because a lot of the media was like, oh, well, look at this mother, 34 years old, she died. It's so bad that she died at a young age. She was obese. Not surprising. This man, he didn't have nothing, but he was also obese. And also, just because you're skinny, I have hypertension. I know people who are skinny who have diabetes. So just because you look thin doesn't mean that you don't have a comorbidity. I know a person who I know 2 people who have lupus. They're thin. So there's other comorbidities. So don't let that fool you. Take care of yourself as best as you can. Really do that. So let's go in a little realm of craziness. All right. So we went there. So let's go in a realm of the craziness. Okay. I for one, I'm happy that the mayor of New York, I'm just checking out some numbers here. Oh wow. We're doing quite well right here. We're up to 15,174. Thank you guys again. Thank you guys on Tempo FM, live, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and we, of course, again, like I said before, we're gonna be expanding to more and more things. But thank y'all, and I see the chat going crazy already. I've always heard people saying So if you're under 65 and healthy, and you're healthy, COVID is not a problem. Got it. Like, people already in the chat saying stuff, and it's like, yeah. Another person say, it sounds like you're the only person. There's only a few people, but it sounds literally like you're the only person who report on stories like this. Be safe and may God bless you. Yeah. You're right about that. I'm going to the chat. It's going crazy. And the person that has also said high risk, because of what the lady said, high risk ethnicity groups. When did sickness start being racist? My patience has reached its limit, and I'm Hispanic. Another person, you don't see anyone who you identify with. So she either did not see a single American female young person or moron. Maybe the problem is who you identify with. Okay. And I never really do this, but yeah, like I said, I could see this in that regard. So thank you thank you guys for watching and helping us out. So let me go here. So I want to go to this part right here. Here's another thing I want to stand out. I myself have no Protestant Black Lives Matter. None against the statement. I got a problem against the statement. The problem is, though, people who become profound, I've showed you more than enough evidence, more than enough thing, that the organization that came up is not for Black people. They basically some lies people. They mostly defend the cops, not the cops. I'm sorry. The most defend criminals and people who do wrong than they defend people who really truly got killed without doing anything wrong. Again, i.e., what I said about the last show again, episode 52, when I stated of a Black man who got killed by a Hispanic cop. He was unarmed. He was trying to save his own life, and he got killed by a cop. He got killed by a cop on episode 53, I should say. That's what it is. You go on YouTube, you check out the playlist, go episode 52 on Project POM episode 52. So he got killed by a cop, but nobody talked about. Where's the mainstream media about that? Oh, because it's a Hispanic cop that killed an innocent Black man, even though what he did was cover up and do horrible stuff. And that's the kind of cop I want to be kicked off the force and in jail. He is a bad person, and he was supposed to be off the force. For some miracle reason, he stayed on the force. Go back to that episode, go back to 53 and watch that part. The name of the guy who died is Michael Craig, which is sad. And a cop tried to cover it. And a Black cop who was there with him tried to cover it. And he got shot in front of his kids. You can't get no worse than that. But because of the colors are not right, because I guarantee you, if that was a white man that shot that Black cop, it would be all over the news. MSNBC would be on air just, oh, I can't believe it. I'm getting orgasm. Oh, right there. Yes. There'll be orgasm like crazy because of this. But because the colors are not right, we don't hear it. That's the problem I have with this. But here's the thing. Because of people take up an innocent set of words and mean something, I'm not against the people who are against it. That's what I'm saying. But when you align with when the people that's prominent in the name of the group, their stuff, they say, let me help you out. Let me just play the clip and stop dilly-dallying and waffling. Enough waffling. Okay, remember in New York, all right, in New York, we have a black mayor that just is gonna be in charge, and the reason that people voted for him because he's against the violence that's been upticking in New York. And who's been hurt by this in New York? Black people has been hurt by this way more than the white man. But let's hear what the leader, Hank Newsom, say about this. And again, I get what he's talking about. They don't want to go back to the stop and frisk and everything. Here's the thing. I got no problem with that. I'm with him. I agree with him. But it takes a turn. And it's like, what? But let's play the video, shall we?
Then we're going to be returned to the days of driving in our cars and police pulling us out and searching us for no reason. He is absolutely wrong. If he believes that we're going to allow our children to be stopped and frisked in the streets again, he is absolutely wrong. If they think that they're going to go back to the old ways of policing, then we're going to take to the streets again. There will be riots, there will be fire, and there will be bloodshed, and there will be bloodshed, and there will be bloodshed.
Really? Really? Let's...
If they think that they're going to go back to the old ways of policing, then we're going to take to the streets again. There will be riots, there will be fire, and there will be bloodshed, and there will be bloodshed.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Are you kidding me, sir? Moron. Are you? What are you? Huh? Jeez Louise. So let me get this straight. You don't like what the black mayor, the mayor-elect in New York says. Okay. But you're gonna go back in the streets and promote violence. The same thing why he got elected to do. The same thing why the black people voted him in. That's what you're gonna do. There will be riots. There will be. Oh my goodness. Again, again, I agree with the first part of your video, the first part of you saying, but then to say this, you're stupid.
There will be riots, there will be fire, and there will be bloodshed.
There will be fire, so you're gonna burn down businesses like you did, like the only remember I showed this video. The only in Brooklyn, was it Brooklyn or it was in Queens? I think it was in Brooklyn. Yeah. Oh, yeah. The only what do you call it? Damn it. Think. The only prescription pharmacies. I'm sorry, I got a brain freeze on there. The only pharmacy in Brooklyn at the time, because people, CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, all of them went away because people were stealing stuff. So this black doctor opened up a pharmacy, a private business in Brooklyn. And what did y'all did? You riot, you raid it, you burned it down. And he now cannot do that. So the black people who were depending on this, and it was mostly black people, now cannot get it. They can't get the medicine. They got to go to blocks and blocks now to go get their medicine. Great job, idiot. Great job. Oh my goodness. Great job. And again, you had a chance Two will say, okay, what I said was stupid. Let me back away there. Because we're human beings. You make mistakes. I'll make mistakes on this show. And I try to correct them when I have a chance to correct them. You had a chance. But, you know, let's keep going.
All right, let me make it simple. Forget, this is clearly a little bit over the head here. Do you condemn rioting and burning down buildings?
Whose head?
You're not answering the question. Do you condemn riots and burning down buildings after a police use of force incident you don't like?
No, what I'll say is I understand when a police officer unjustifiably kills someone, why people lash out. I understand that completely.
I didn't ask, why can't you answer the
question?
I'm not going to condemn, nor am I going to condone it. Now, see, here's the thing. When Osama bin Laden and those terrorists attacked the United States of America, can you let me talk?
Man.
You have a show, you talk as much as you want.
You talk a lot of junk, and then when I put you on the spot, you won't answer a damn question. Do you condone violence?
I'm answering the question. I'm answering the question.
Over the place. Just condemn violence and burning of buildings down. How hard is this?
Okay, so when Osama bin Laden attacked the World Trade Center, did you say America should deal with it peacefully?
You're not answering the question, man.
I'm posing questions to you.
That has nothing to do with people burning down businesses in New York City. You're not going to answer the question, Hawk, but listen.
Wait, okay, I'll give you this. I'll give you this. I don't condone it. I don't promote it, but I will not condemn it.
Pretty good. Motherfucker. That don't make no goddamn sense.
But there was something about this.
I have to play it because just say you don't do. Just say no. I don't condemn this because again, who got mostly killed? Who got mostly hurt? Who are black people that you say Black Lives Matter that you stand up for? That's the problem I got. That's the problem I got. Who gets hurt more by this? Black folks. Look at Chaz. I remember I said most of the time you see most of these rights, whatever, who's in there? White liberal leftists, women and men, and young boys who don't even know what they're doing. Again, look at Chaz. They say abolish the police, just like he was talking about. Abolish the police. Chaz was that. Chad, Chop, whatever you want to call it in Seattle. There were no cops there. Who was running? Who was protecting the Chaz Chop? Was a black guy. Okay, y'all name him the big boogeyman, whatever. Who were the first people to get killed in Chaz? The first death, a black person. Second death, a black child. Third death, a black child. White people? No. Hispanic? No. Blacks. This is why it's so dysfunctional. You literally see it. That's why I have a problem with that. The phrase, no problem. But when these are the leaders, this is the leader. It came thing up in Chicago when that young lady who's the chapter leader of Black Lives Matter, she's like, yes, we should steal from all the stores. Yes, I don't care what people, whatever. I said, okay. Then and when their black bus get shot, okay. Oh, the cops are wrong for doing that. Really? Really? A black woman who was protecting a store, a black woman, and she got knocked over her head, almost got out of conscious. A black woman. Let's help her out. Nope. How about the I don't think I have that clip. A black woman came up and said, Black Lives Matter, blah blah blah. A white man came and threw urine on a woman like that. He's the one who's saying Black Lives Matter. She's saying leave me the hell alone, and he did that. Or about the other kids who beat up the old man who was trying to protect the old black man who tried to protect his furniture store. Who y'all put concrete in a cup and broke his jaw. 65-year-old man. Y'all did that. Or the black kid that shot David Dorn. That's where my problem's at. And yeah, like I said, all you had to do was say, you know what, I misspoke. I don't want nobody to burn down any businesses or nothing like that. We should just No. No. And he was like, oh, well, if Osama bin Laden happened and did, yeah, he killed, yeah, America, whatever, and he killed Osama bin Laden killed black people, all kind of people. And they went back and retaliated and killed him. Okay, that was on the president that you voted for, Barack Hussein Obama. Okay. But it's a false equivalency to that. And it's just weird. And y'all have ways to step back from it, and you don't step back from it at all. So that's where a lot of the problems come from. Sad, but true. It's not good. So with that said, let's get into I want to do one more thing because it's ridiculous. It's literally ridiculous. And we end it off with that. I mean, okay, and right now we're at, wow, we had 28,373. Thank you again. Thank you guys for this. All right. This is crazy. Dante, again, I'm just reading the comments. I'm not doing it in normal form like I do on the site. I want to name people, whatever. Love how he acts if he's not advocating violence. Yes, that's exactly the F is that. They preach tolerance, but it is disguised when they want to fight people. I'm not advocating violence, but I'm not condemning it either. Your clip that you played just made sense. It makes no damn sense. Rather than that, he threatens violence unless they are allowed to perpetrate the violence with impunity. So either way, there will be violence. Yes. Exactly. I could go on the chat with you guys again. Maybe we'll talk about this stuff. Maybe we'll talk about this stuff tomorrow. Okay? Maybe we'll talk about this stuff tomorrow. Cause that is ridiculous itself. Holy smoke, you people nuts. But I want to talk about one more thing. I don't want to see if I want to bring it up. And knowing them, they're gonna do something. But let's just see. I want to bring this up. Let's go with that. This one should be more that I won't get myself in trouble with copyright. I know CBS is very quick with a lot of crap. Well, I was wrong. They still went over that. Okay, I'm gonna do just spot and then I'll let you listen because it's just ridiculous.
This week on 60 Minutes, we reported on the crisis in the supply chain. Because of the pandemic, so many of us, so many Americans, were at home with very little more to do than point and click on Amazon. We went on a pandemic shopping binge. We ordered a lot of stuff.
Okay, I will show this part just for a quick second. I will show this part. We might show this in the last video. This is 60 minutes. You'll go to 60 minutes and check this out. Touch and supply. These are ships that are outside at the port in Los Angeles, at Long Beach and everything, and LA. They're at the port. 40% of our goods come from California with the shipping supplies. They're there waiting for days, some of them weeks, to offload their containers and their goods. Okay? So let's go back to normal because again, I don't want to hit with the. This is basically what you're hearing. You'll go to the YouTube and put in 60-minute supply chain, and you can see what it. This was broadcast this past Sunday. But I'm going to keep on playing so you can hear it, because there's a reason I'm doing that, because I'm going to go into another thing.
It's been coming across in record numbers for a year. So it's piling up at the ports of Long Beach and Los Angeles because the system wasn't able to handle what we were calling a tsunami of goods flowing in. If you are at home and you're ordering something and that something is made in Asia, it's almost guaranteed that that good is going to be imported through the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. Those are the busiest ports in the U.S. 40% of all imports into the U.S. come through those ports.
From there. Exactly, like I just said.
Ordinarily, the goods, the cargo, are put on containers. And those containers are carried across the ocean on these huge ships. We were on one that was the length of 3 football fields, and the containers are piled up to 9 stories. It's huge ships, lots of containers.
Yep.
Ordinarily, it takes about 2 weeks to cross the ocean. They usually pull into the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach. It used to take a day or so to get them out of the port. Now it's anybody's guess how long it's going to take to get them out of the ports. Once they get dropped off at the port, they're usually picked up by truckers. We've heard a lot of complaints that there is a lack of truckers. The folks who are working with the truckers at the port say they have enough truckers. They had the same number of truckers they had a year ago.
Before I continue, they have the same amount of truckers. It's a supply surge, which, like I said, is going to happen. I've not watched this clip. I'm just telling you from knowing how things are and seeing stuff before, and I talked about this before. Because this is going to lead to something where I'm going to point out. 1, 2. There is a problem at the shores because of the longshoremen and stuff. So the private businesses acting like jabronis. So I'll give it that this is basically a private company and government problem. This is both problems, okay? I'll admit to that. But the companies, because they want to keep their money, that's what they're doing. The government is just oversight, bureaucrat bull crap. So I'll let it go. You hear what he says.
It's just that the amount of goods coming out is just overwhelming. The way it usually works is a trucker will bring an empty container back to the port, and once the containers pile up, they get enough empty ones, they put them back on a ship, send them back to Asia. But now, because there's no room at the port for the empty containers, when a trucker wants to bring in an empty to get a full container to put on the road, they can't do it. There's no room for the empties. The truckers now have to make an appointment. They find out, oh, there's an empty space at Terminal A. So let me get in line so I can drop this off at Terminal A, and then I can pick a container up. Well, there's so many truckers trying to get in for that one little space that they're all lined up at the gate to the port, hoping to get in to get that empty space. And most of them get turned away. So the trucks with the empty containers go back to these lots. And there are lots all over Southern California full of empty containers sitting on the chassis. Those chassis are needed to take the empty container in, take the full container out. They can't be returned. There's no space for them to be returned. So the whole system is broken down. And they're finding the same thing with rail. The rail companies are moving as much as they always did, but there's so much more to be moved now that the old ways, the old habits, the old pace is just not good enough to meet this problem. Before this crisis, you would point and click, you'd order it, and you'd expect it to show up in, sometimes days. Now, people are waiting months. Everybody is trying to respond with some piece of the solution, but so far it hasn't all come together in a complete puzzle. And it doesn't look like it's all going to come together before Christmas.
Another, and if you go to the 60 Minutes piece, like I said, I didn't watch this. This is the call 60 Minutes Overtime. That's what I said. I never watched the clip. But if you go to the 60 Minutes piece, they were also talking about how the bureaucrat part came in it where they're like, oh, well, we only want blue containers today. Okay, well, but we don't want no rusty containers. We want green containers. Like, that asinine is stupid. How about you just take a container back to where it's supposed to be, back to the ship so you can get back over to China or Taiwan or Vietnam, whatever. Nope. Colors? I can understand it. Like I said, the rusty one, I can understand that because it's rusty, blah, blah. I get that. But the other, oh my goodness, they make it just so asinine. That's the whole point. And of course, we have somebody who's supposed to take care of stuff like that. His name is Pete Buttigieg. Now, he was basically running for president of the United States. I'll say this in the nicest way possible. If you notice when I said things, like I said, a lot of these people are diversity is our strength. Diversity of thought is our strength. Diversity of different colors is not our strength, because I don't know who that. I'm not gonna hire you just because you're black or Asian or gay or lesbian or any other thing. Can you do the job? Yes. Then we come on in. Give me your qualifications. Let's go merit base. Because let's get this straight. Pete Buttigieg, of course, he's homosexual. Nothing wrong with that. Good for him. Live his life. I don't care. He's a grown man. He became the Secretary of Transportation. Know nothing about it, but he's there. Y'all got on Trump when he hired Ben Carson for housing. And the thing about it, yes, he could have been a Surgeon General. That was a better choice. I'm not knocking that. You're right on that. But he did know something about on the housing market, being that he was from the ghetto. He understands stuff, and he made a lot of differences in a lot of ghettos in the north. I'll say that. The south, not that much. I'll admit to that. But still, weird how that works. Whatever. But if you're gonna go potato, okay, you got a Ben Carson, Trump for Ben Carson on that, no problem. But Buttigieg, or the woman I talk about, the energy secretary, who said a stupid thing about, oh, I don't have the magic wand. You do have the magic wand. Literally, last year, we were energy independent from oil. And with a swift of a pen, our president took it away. And then you beg OPEC, and then you go and call OPEC, well, it's a cartel. Oh, that's a smart move to do. Call the people who's going to give you what you need a bad connotation. Smart, just smart. But anyway, so Mr. Buttigieg wanted to get, he and his partner wanted to get kids. They adopted 2 kids. Okay, here's the thing. Women, I'm with you. You should have a recovery period. You should have maternity leave. I am with that all the way. But 2 men had 2 kids. And they didn't went through labor, they didn't whatever, but they took 2 months off. So while the supply chain was going crazy, which is underneath his purview, nothing happened. So now he's back at work. And of course, he's spitting nonsense. And you people wanted him to be president. Oh, good grief. Googly moogly. So let's do this, because he did a thing called a thing about the whole bridge now being that. And the thing about it, like, people eat this stuff up like there's nothing. But let's finish it off with this, shall we?
Buttigieg, the former boy mayor of South Bend, Indiana, and the current boy Secretary of Transportation. On November 8th, 2021, in the White House briefing room, Buttigieg attempted to answer a very important question from a very unimportant journalist named April Ryan.
Oh, she is.
Can you give us the construct of how you will deconstruct the racism that was built into the roadways, as you talked to the griot earlier when you broke that information with us? Can you talk to us about how that could be deconstructed?
For sure.
Oh, my head's gonna hurt me with this nonsense. But anyway.
Sure, yeah. So I think the question was, how will we remove the systemic racism that was built into America's roads? Frickin' clown world.
I'm still surprised that some people were surprised when I pointed to the fact that if a highway was built for the purpose of dividing a white and a black neighborhood, or if an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach, or that would have been in New York, was designed too low for it to pass by.
You're an idiot. You lit. The roads, I get it because I get that. That's redlining. I understand redlining. The overpass thing. Let's just go with it.
It reflects racism that went into those design choices.
Okay, so are there really highways that were built with a racist purpose? Well, I can tell you with absolute certainty that highways, first and foremost, are built to accommodate the movement of motor vehicles.
Highways, yes. Road is the red line district thing I was talking about, but highways, no.
So, probably not. And unfortunately, Buttigieg isn't offering any examples or specifics.
Of course he won't.
He's just making a general statement, so it's not anything I can prove or debunk. However, we can investigate his statement about racist underpasses, because it's a claim that has been floating around for decades. Buttigieg is referring specifically to the Southern State Parkway in New York State, and the accusation is that the designer of the parkway, Robert Moses, was a racist. And he was so racist that he designed the parkway's bridges to sit extra low so that black and brown people in buses couldn't use the highway to travel to Jones Beach, one of the many public works designed by Robert Moses. And the origin of this claim comes from an anecdote in Robert Caro's Pulitzer Prize-winning book, The Power Broker, Robert Moses and the Fall of New York. And if you can't tell by the book's title, it's pretty biased against Mr. Moses. Here's an excerpt. Now he began taking measures to limit use of his parks. He had restricted the use of state parks by poor and lower middle class families in the first place by limiting access to the parks by rapid transit.
You hear the part? Poor, lower middle class families. Again, the middle class always get hurt by this thing, but you're seeing it on the screen. Okay.
He had vetoed the Long Island Railroad's proposed construction of a branch spur to Jones Beach for this reason. Now, the author, Robert Caro, doesn't provide any explanation or detail, or even cite a source to back up those claims. For example, what year did Robert Moses veto the branch spur to Jones Beach? That would be helpful to know, considering that the railroad was constantly in financial trouble and at one point was in bankruptcy. Also, maybe it wasn't worth building, considering that Jones Beach is utilized only 3 to 4 months out of the year. But instead of putting it into any context, you're supposed to take his word for it. But trust him, guys, he's a journalist. Now Moses began to limit access by buses. He instructed Sidney M. Shapiro, the chief engineer and general manager of the Long Island State Park Commission, to build the bridges across his new parkways low, too low for buses to pass. Bus trips, therefore, had to be made on local roads, making the trips discouragingly long and arduous.
So then people still could get, if it's a bus the problem, then you still could get to the beach.
Did you see it? Did you see all the racism? So 3 points here.
Holy smoke. These people try too hard to... This is why the boogeyman stays around, because it's not even that they try so hard to push it. That's the thing. And I'm like, I see... Disappear, the bottle. See the bottle? Disappear. I see you holding the bottle. It didn't disappear. I see it. Your trick ain't work. Maybe my eyes is different. I see it.
The book says that Moses limited access by buses on the parkways, which makes sense as the parkways were designated as limited access highways designed for passenger cars only. Second, it says that bus trips had to be made on local roads and that those trips were discouragingly long and arduous. As if riding a bus could ever not be long and arduous. And
True that.
third, when Caro claims that Moses restricted poor and lower middle class families from going to the beach, Caro is talking about class, and Buttigieg made
It's
it about
race.
If
Exactly.
an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids
Remember I talked about MSN. If that cop was a white cop that killed that black man, Michael Craig, they will be just oogling it. Look at Pete Buttigieg's face when he's talking about it. Just look at his face. The same thing I have with Kamala Harris. Like, where does that, like you see me talk. Where did that it's like they get a joy out of it. They get a high about, yes, this is such a great thing. Talking about something that by their definition is bad. Look at his face.
constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach was designed too low for it to pass by, that obviously reflects racism.
Remember, folks,
look at that joy in this man's face.
Only black and brown kids can be poor. Just ask Joe Biden.
Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
Anyway, in the film Misleading Innocence, Tracing What a Bridge Can Do, urban planner and Moses critic Lee Kopelman is shown a Jones Beach bus schedule from 1937.
Boy, I haven't seen one of these in a long, long time. One way, 50 cents. All coming basically from Nassau County, one in Flushing. All white areas.
And this bus schedule alone, with pickup points in all white areas, decimates the argument that mostly brown and black kids would be riding the bus to the beach.
Exactly.
But let's keep going anyway.
Yep.
In an article titled, Do Politics Have Artifacts?, sociology professor Bernard Georges takes on the racist underpass claim not only by Robert Caro, but also by author and political scientist Langdon Winner. There is a suggestion that Moses has violated a valid standard of bridge building, a tacit or explicit norm, which elsewhere allowed buses and other high vehicles on such roads. But this, it seems, was not the case. In the USA, trucks, buses, and other commercial vehicles were prohibited on all parkways. In sum, Moses could hardly have let buses on his parkways, even if he had wanted differently. And that begs the question, what would be the point of making more room below these bridges? To accommodate buses and commercial vehicles that weren't allowed to travel on the parkway in the first place? How then should one understand that Moses built some 200 overpasses so low? US civil engineers, with whom I have corresponded regularly, produced two simple explanations for the rationality of the low-hanging bridges.
Cost.
That commercial traffic was excluded from the parkways anyway, and that the generally good transport situation on Long Island forbade the very considerable cost of raising the bridges. In other words, Caro and Winner don't know what they're talking about. Furthermore, in an email to the fact-checker at the Washington Post, Kenneth T. Jackson, a Columbia University historian, says that the overpass story is not true. Caro is wrong, wrote Mr. Jackson. Arnold Vollmer, the landscape architect who was in charge of the design for the bridges, said the height was due to cost.
Of course, like I just stated. It's always with cost stuff.
And added, also, you can still get to Jones Beach by train and bus, as you always
could.
And in the film Misleading Innocence, Bernard Georges adds the following.
Buses were not allowed in the US on parkways by law. Also, as engineer Vollmer, one of Moses' men, wrote to us, the Long Island parkways, including low overpasses, were modeled on Olmsted's designs for Westchester County. So the racist version of the story is not plausible, really.
So, who are you more likely to believe? an author's statement lacking any citation, or historians who actually cite their sources? Well, if you're choosing the former, I can't help you. So why did Mayor Pete even bring it up in the first place? Well, you know why. And yes, it was pointless for him to mention it because federal funds aren't going to be used to enlarge the clearance under a single overpass in New York. And even if they are dumb enough to throw money at it, it won't solve anything because there was never a problem in the first place. Anyway,
and that's literally what's the point is. It's always cost is what I thought it was all the time before when I heard the story. But again, that's you have a job to do, Mr. Buttigieg. You have the supply thing to work out in LA. Fly to LA, figure out the costs. Talk to the longshoremen to figure out to get the stuff in, and how about you write and get rid of some of these arbitrational stupid laws about the blue and color and everything else. That's your job. But that's not what you're going to talk about. That's the part that killed me. Every person that I've seen that Biden has appointed, from Austin, who's the black Secretary of State and stuff, and he's in with Afghanistan. Oh, that went to crap. Secretary of Energy, that went to crap. Yearly and Lee with inflation, that went to crap. Again, I literally have a show on my channel called "Prove Me Wrong," and also about it's like, just prove me wrong. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking for too much stuff now. Well, I'll just leave it at that. All right. I want to thank you guys out there for giving me the chance for what it is. We got up to the highest we got back down, but the highest we had was now went up to 2886, but now we're down to 2425. That's all cool. I'm not against that. I want to thank you guys out there again for giving me your time, your eyes, your ears, and listening to it. Like I said, be careful of people who feed this boogeyman nonsense. Okay, it's just crazy, literally crazy. MSNBC again. The racist MSNBC is basically like they're having sex. They can't help it because Tiffany Cross came and said the reason why we don't have the truckers, even though I didn't let you see it, the person who was doing the news report for 60 Minutes was a black guy. Even with that, they would say she said on MSNBC the reason why we don't have a lot of truck drivers is because black folks and all that stuff. Again, I know more black truck drivers than white drivers. And again, you heard what the guy said. That's not the problem. It's just there's a boom and rush, and of course the idiocracy of the whole debacle of the longshoremen and also the government with their stupid bylaws. The bureaucracy is too much. That's the problem. And Buttigieg needs to do his job. That's all I'm saying. All right, stupid. Last but not least, again, you saw what I said about COVID. The numbers don't. My argument has been and always will be, just give us the right numbers. I'm not against the vaccine. I'm not against putting a mask on. I'm not against people 65 and gaining over, even with the people who are healthy, whatever. I'm not against none of that stuff. But just give us the real numbers and take out the bogus crap to scare us. If you want the boogeyman to do his job, give us the real thing, because again, more and more people are getting less and less skeptical. And again, people saying, oh, the numbers have been going up. There are more cases have gone up in states. It's winter coming. It mostly happens at this time. Can we use simple sense? I don't want to say common because it's not around. Simple sense is needed. But that said, again, you guys want. I see that you guys are putting stuff. If you want to talk about, apologize. You want to talk about the show in tomorrow's side chat, what we just talked about today? Hey, put it in the chat. I'll look over it. We'll go through some of this stuff. With that said, thank you for giving. Like I said before, remember, evil, even in Buttigieg's point, comes in all size, shape, sex, gender, nationality, height, weight, creed, job, party, political party. It makes no difference. Evil's evil. And like I just told you, if you want to know about the information, you can, like I literally did live for you, I Googled out to find out the death rate, the percentage rate, the survival rate, how these numbers don't make no sense is illogical. I told you that. I showed it to you live in that. So with that said, remember, because you saw it, according with the Black Lives Matter videos there, look, people are stupid, all right? You be that smart individual, okay? Be that smart individual. Because people are stupid, individuals smart. Please be that smart individual. Check y'all back tomorrow, side chat, 9:30, all right? Peace out, have a good night, and take care of yourself.
I'm putting this on the news tonight. Bye. Have a great Friday, you motherfucker.